When your house is a mess and you're feeling the stress, what you need is a friend in your ear. Start the job and you'll see it through with Ronnie talking to you. Make the chaos disappear. Clean with Me podcast is here.
Thanks for joining me. In today's episode, I am going to be motivating you to clean your master bedroom and master bathroom and possibly a guest room in preparation for holiday guests. This episode is part of the holiday deep cleaning series I've been doing and will continue to do over the next week. By the way, I am pressed for time today, so it's going to be kind of a short episode. I'm not claiming that you're going to get everything done during the episode, but my goal is to get you up and moving and motivated. And I want to remind you about everything that needs to be done. I might not even be editing this episode to remove every slight pause where I stop to think. So it's just going to be a raw episode. But I wanted to pop in and make this episode because I didn't want to leave any stone unturned with the different areas in your home. And this is what I have for you today. However, I have a ton of college homework to do, so I'm going to keep the episode kind of short. It's time to gear up for your cleaning session. We're going to be working in a bedroom and a bathroom. You're going to need a place to put trash. Maybe you already have waste baskets that need to be taken out. Okay, not everybody has a waste basket in their bedroom. I do have waste baskets in my master bedroom on either side of our nightstands. It's just how we do things. But there's no waste basket in the guest room. And then, of course, there's a waste basket in the bathroom. Okay. So if you have any waste baskets to empty before we begin, now's the time. But it's also possible that you just need to grab a trash bag and have that handy for throwing away trash. If you've been following this series, I don't expect everyone to have heard every episode, but if you've been listening to the episodes in the series, you know that I've been emphasizing storing more things out of sight. I've been talking about the 4 steps of preparing for guests in advance. Obviously, you clean differently when you're doing it at the last minute, but when you start the process several days or even weeks in advance, the first step is storing more items out of sight. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in this episode. The second step is, of course, deep cleaning surfaces, which is much easier once everything's put away. And then the next step is purchasing any necessary supplies. It could be cooking utensils, it could be additional glasses, something like that. When I'm talking about purchasing things in preparation for guests, I'm not talking about wasting money trying to keep up with the Joneses or anything like that. I'm talking about honestly looking at what you have and deciding whether you're equipped to be hospitable to your guests. Like, do you have enough pillows and blankets? Do you have enough plates, or are you using paper plates, or do you have enough hard plates? Okay, just things like that. But sometimes it doesn't hurt to get a nice little finishing touch to kind of spruce up the place, whether it's a potted plant or in my case, I got a little sugar bowl that's labeled sugar and has a little lid and a spoon for my coffee station. Okay. Another nice touch could be new hand towels or a little bit of holiday decor. Okay. And then number 4 only applies if you have someone staying overnight. And that is, of course, to wash the bedding in the guest room or whichever room your guest is going to be staying. I realize you might not have a dedicated guest room. You might be bringing a kid into your own room or having a kid sleep on the couch so that someone can sleep in their bed. But for intents and purposes of this episode, when I say guest room, I realize it could be just someone's room where a guest is going to be sleeping during this visit. Okay. Again, if you hear me pause to think, I haven't stopped talking completely. It's just usually I go in and edit out those pauses. And I'm trying to record this particular episode in one take. First thing I want to do, and you can do kind of the bedroom, you can do kind of the bedroom and bathroom in one fell swoop if you're working on a master bedroom bathroom combo. And you might be saying, Ronnie, why am I worried about the master bedroom? Well, at the last minute, maybe the day before, or the day of, you're going to be giving the areas that your guests are going to spend the most time in a once over. Like you're going to be vacuuming the living room. You're going to make sure your kitchen is clean and your guest bathroom is presentable. Okay. But in the days leading up to having the guests, you want to knock out some of these other areas that your guests might see. Okay. So that's my thoughts on it. And let's face it, you want a clean bedroom anyway. You need to clean it for yourself anyway. So why not? Obviously, if you're listening to this and you're pressed for time and you need to just shut your bedroom door and even lock it, I get that. But I'm talking to you as if you still had a week before the guests arrive. Okay. Or even longer. So I want you to gather up all trash. Okay. Whether it's a fast food cup on a nightstand, or does anybody else do that? Like, you're drinking iced tea with your fast food or whatever, and then you bring it home and you end up putting it on your nightstand and drinking it after you go to bed or whatever. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but maybe there's a fast food cup on the nightstand, an empty water bottle. Maybe there's some other obvious trash somewhere. Okay. Now's the time to throw that stuff away. There might be trash inside of your closet. Maybe you unwrapped something and you've got like an Amazon box and some packing materials. I do save my Amazon boxes out in the garage, so bad example. I'm just trying to think about random kinds of trash that you might have in the room. It shouldn't take long because I'm assuming you don't just have trash everywhere. In the bathroom, maybe somebody leaves, Q-tips lying around or, I don't know, tissues or I don't know what, but let's get that stuff thrown away. Let's get rid of obvious trash on the floor, on surfaces, everywhere. Okay. The next thing you're going to want to do is focus on any visible loose items in the room. I saw something in a video recently that I thought was interesting. I love these random rules that you don't necessarily have to follow, but they're food for thought and they get you thinking. Well, I heard a rule that you should only have 10 visible loose items in the entire room. So what they're talking about is after your bedroom floor is picked up or whatever, look at your nightstands and your dresser and whatever other surface, and you should only have a total of 10 items. And that might even be more than what you want to have. One example they gave were the hotel nightstands, they called it, where on each nightstand you've got a lamp, water, and one personal item like a book or journal. I know some people like to keep a journal or a notepad and pen to wake up and write what they dreamt about or something. Some people like to have a book. Now, I'm not saying I necessarily follow the hotel nightstand rule. I do have multiple books on my nightstand. It's just an idea that I wanted to share, but I do think this applies to the guest room if you're working on a guest room. You do not want much on the nightstand because your guest is going to put their items there. Maybe they're going to set their phone there. Maybe they're going to set their watch there or their drink or whatever, right? So you want to go really minimalist with the nightstand that's next to a bed that your guests are going to sleep in. But let's say that you're working on your bedroom right now and you're anticipating the fact that some guests might need to be ushered into your bathroom because you're going to have 15, 20 or more people in your house, and a line's going to start to form at the bathroom, and then you're going to want to say, oh, you can use my bathroom, right? Because that's being hospitable. Well, they are going to walk through your bedroom in order to do that. Okay, so you're going to want your bed made. Now, you might be making your bed right now as part of this bedroom cleaning process, but of course you're going to remake it the day that the guests are arriving, okay? Because making a bed instantly makes a room look better, even if the room is imperfect and has clutter on the floor, piles around, whatever. Like, bare minimum, just make the bed. Unless you have just the most beautiful layered bedding. I've been seeing videos lately where these people are showcasing their cute bedding and the bed is kind of like messed up a little bit, but they have these cute layers and pillows to where the bed even looks good, virtually unmade. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not all the way open. Like, the covers are kind of pulled up, but they're kind of crumpled. And they've like created, but I feel like they staged it creatively. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like it's I woke up like this bed. Okay. But trust me, your bed is probably not as Pinterest worthy or whatever as the one I saw in that video. So just make your bed before the guests arrive. And while we're talking about it, go ahead and make the bed now, because that's going to give you kind of a staging area. If you need to pick something up, you're not sure what to do with it, or you need to fold clothes or something. And also, it's going to build momentum. If you've been listening to my show for a while, you know that making your bed instantly makes your room look better, which makes it a springboard chore. Okay, it helps you build momentum because you get like a quick win of your room already starting to look better, and you see the light at the end of the tunnel if your room's a disaster. Okay, all that to say this: make sure your bed's made when the people come, in case you take them through there, because there's a bathroom in there. If there's not a bathroom in your bedroom, go ahead and lock it or whatever and focus on the rest of the house. All right. But somebody might ask to go in one of the back rooms to change a baby's diaper or maybe wrap a gift or something. Stuff comes up at get-togethers. So be prepared for that. Ideally, you want to have your whole house clean. Okay. In my last minute finishing touches episode, obviously, we're going to prioritize the most important areas. But again, I'm assuming that you're working in advance, and I'm trying to motivate you to have those back rooms clean. Okay. Especially the guest room where somebody's going to be staying. All right. And there's not that much work that needs to be done in that guest room necessarily. Okay. We had a blanket hanging up in the window of the room that's going to be the guest room. So we got a very cheap curtain rod and curtains. My husband hung them up, and boom, makeover for the room. Okay. Recently, my teenage daughter cleaned some baseboards around the house for money, and I had this room on the list, so she already wiped down these baseboards. I wiped out the windowsill. My husband hung the curtains. I am going to change the bedding out just because it's not my favorite bedding. It's clean, but I was thinking like, I've got better sheets somewhere than this. So I'm going to change out the bedding at the last minute, but it does have clean bedding on it already. And, at the last minute, I'm just going to vacuum the room. It's okay that there's a sewing machine on a desk and there's a workout machine in the room, but I'm going to make sure that the little makeshift nightstand is clear so that they can put their things on the nightstand. And I might put a bottle of water there in case they get thirsty. I'm not even sure which person is staying in this room, but is going to be ready. But oftentimes getting a guest room ready is easy because it might be the room that you don't really use. So it might stay somewhat tidy. Like if it's doubling as your office and you're mainly just kind of sitting at a desk, you might just need to put a few items in your desk drawer, wipe the surface of your desk, just get your desk under control. People live here. Your house doesn't need to look perfect. I don't want you to have anxiety about entertaining guests. Your goal with this is not perfection or to make your home look exactly like a model home or like no one lives there. Your goal is to make your guests feel comfortable and welcome and just to avoid embarrassment. You want to deal with any glaring problems. You don't want to have any surfaces that you haven't cleaned in months that have buildup. That's why it's ideal to start in advance to where, you're putting things away and doing some deep cleaning tasks that you haven't done in a while. If there are marks on your walls, you might need to wipe down walls. If you haven't dusted your baseboards in a while, you might want to do that. Okay, I talked a lot about dusting the baseboards and exactly how to do it in my bonus episode that I posted recently. By the way, special thanks to those who are already supporting the show financially and have unlocked those bonus episodes. Now, subscribing to bonus episodes might already be advertised to you if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, which is that purple app on your iPhone, or Spotify. But you can also do it through a Patreon membership. And you can visit cleanwithmepodcast.com for more information on that. And I'll also put a link in the show notes. Okay. But I do go into a little more depth and a little more detail. The bonus episodes are usually either a little bit longer than the usual episodes, or I get a little more personal in those episodes, but they are a little bit different than these free episodes. But even just listening to these free episodes helps me. So, of course, I appreciate each and every one of you. And a way to help me without spending a dime is just simply clicking on that 5th star and giving me a 5-star rating and, dropping a little note to give me a positive review. So many of you have done that lately. Thank you for that. I appreciate it more than you know. So thanks for that. If you haven't already done so, reviews help, subscriptions help. It all helps. Okay. So once any trash is thrown away, obviously you just need to put away clutter. Like I said, you might need to put things into desk drawers. You might need to consolidate that clean laundry pile. Okay. Definitely you should only have one place for clean laundry. You don't want to have like baskets of clean laundry plus a huge pile on a chair or something. You want to consolidate it into at least one pile. Okay. Little trick I've been known to do at the last minute when I'm having a get together and I focus more on other areas of my house and there's kind of a residual clean laundry pile that I haven't folded and put away and I don't have time to deal with. Sometimes I'll just grab like a large folded comforter or something and lay that over the laundry basket to where it just looks like there's a pile of blankets that are folded. So yeah, you can do something like that at the last minute, but that's going to be difficult if you have multiple piles of clean laundry. Okay. And if clean laundry is the only problem in the bedroom, you could be folding it and putting it away right now, or maybe after this episode while listening to another podcast. Okay. But at least get it consolidated down to one clean laundry basket. And you can also just store it in your closet if there's room for it in the closet, maybe you like to keep it out, but temporarily put it in the closet. You can do things a little different when you're preparing for guests. This is just be putting things away in your room, hanging up clean clothes, putting dirty clothes in the hamper, putting shoes where they go, straightening up, dusting surfaces, wiping baseboards if needed, wiping out windowsills because you don't want any buildup, remember? Okay. And if by now you're ready to move on into a bathroom, it's time to put some toilet bowl cleaner in that toilet bowl, give it a swish. The area I want you to focus most on in a master bathroom or secondary bathroom, meaning it's not the one that's serving as the guest bathroom, it's that extra bathroom, is the toilet and the area around the toilet, especially the view from the toilet. Okay, so for example, if you have a big fancy bathroom with like a separate tub and shower or whatever, like a lot of houses have, and then there's just like that small room, I call it the bathroom stall, some people call it a water closet, that little room with the toilet, that's the one you want to concentrate your efforts on because they're going to quickly walk into there and sit on the toilet, and then whatever they can see from the toilet is what you want to focus on. The floor in there, the baseboards in there, the toilet itself. Okay. Put more effort into that than that other part of the bathroom. And of course, make sure the sinks are clean. And, if you have time to put some things away right now, store more things out of sight. Are you using all those different hair products every time you get ready in the morning? Maybe you like to have them out because it helps you get ready fast. Like you like to just have the curling iron, the crimper, the flat iron, just every possible product at your disposal. I get that, but you can change your routine up a little bit while you're preparing for guests. And I think I was going to say this earlier. I know I'm all over the place. Just be cleaning your bedroom and bathroom or your guest room. You know what to do. Get stuff put away, clean those surfaces, try to look at it from the eyes of a guest. Don't forget to dust the top of the room, knock down those cobwebs. If you don't have a special dusting tool, like grab a broom and knock them down, okay? Look at the corners, look at the switch plates, wipe them down, that sort of thing, okay? You don't have to wash your windows if you have the curtains closed and such, okay? I realize you can't always do everything. Like life goes on. You have everyday, routines that you have to maintain in addition to these deep cleaning tasks. Okay. But an example of doing things differently for a while. Last night, my husband and I put both of the leaves in the dining room table and then realized that made it too long for the tablecloth. And we really didn't have the number of chairs that could have gone around the table with both leaves. So like we only have 6 chairs and the tablecloth wasn't long enough. So what we did is we took out one of the leaves and then that was perfect for 6 chairs around it and the tablecloth covering it. I got this really cute tablecloth at Dollar General. Sometimes I misspeak and get those wrong, but I know which is which. Dollar General. And it has it's like a holiday coffee theme. Super cute. And then I have a matching towel to go with it at my coffee station. Super cute, super duper cheap. But I announced nobody's going to be eating at this table for the next few days because I have this brand new tablecloth here and I don't want it to get messed up or whatever. Especially no art projects are going to go on, but there's no reason anybody needs to eat there because we also have a pop-up coffee table and we have a breakfast bar with bar stools. And since we're having a lot of people over, the way I'm doing it is I'm setting the table. I'm also setting the pop-up coffee table that's surrounded by couches. And I'm also setting that one strip of the breakfast bar. So, when they find their glass with ice to pour their soda in or whatever, they're going to see that there are places to sit other than the table itself. That's just how I'm doing it. And there's probably going to be 7 chairs at the table, because, I'm pulling up an extra chair and there's enough room for that. Okay. That's a little off topic, but my point is you can change your habits temporarily, and then who knows, you might keep doing it. So if you're clearing off the bathroom counter right now, putting away items that are usually perpetually on your master bathroom counter because it's the master bathroom, and you're going to just use them and keep putting them away as you go or whatever, kind of create that habit that you're going to have, like while you have company, it might stick with you. You might decide, you know what, I kind of like putting these things away. And I realize with a hot curling iron, you got to let it cool down first. So probably a bad example, but some of these different like heat protectant spray, leave-in conditioner, et cetera, you might be able to store those out of sight just for a more streamlined look, and you might get used to putting them away as you go, if that makes sense. So just a thought there. But yeah, if you have a large, overwhelming bathroom, I want you to focus on key areas. The sink where they will be washing their hands should be pristine, and have a clean towel and a pump hand soap so they don't have to use a bar of soap or whatever. Okay. I don't know about you, but we often use a bar of soap in the master bathroom just because it's just me and my husband in there. We don't care. And we're old school. We grew up in a time where you would find a bar of soap by the sink in the bathroom. You know, you, if you know, you know. Okay, we're a little older. I'm 53. My husband is 61. So, yeah, we've been buying soap pumps for years, but it's more of a priority in the guest bathroom. Like if I run out of soap in the guest bathroom and I'm not expecting company just on a random weekday or whatever, I will grab the one from the master bathroom, put it in there, and then just stick a bar on the master bathroom sink. You don't want to do that when you're preparing for guests. You want to make sure you have soap pumps at every sink. I like to buy a big container of the liquid soap and then we refill the smaller ones. It's a lot more cost effective. So really, I don't need to be moving one from one bathroom to the other, but sometimes I just do it out of laziness. Like, here, I'm going to give the kids this one because we're out or whatever. But in reality, we have like a huge jug of soap for refilling. Okay. Now, when it gets closer to the guests arriving and they're running late and I have extra time, I am probably going to do more detailing of our master shower tub, the countertop area in there, the floor in there. But the part that I've already deep cleaned is just that bathroom stall area. Okay. That part is ready. And I know you're probably saying, well, I'm busy, I don't have time, and you picture me as someone cleaning all day. You're dead wrong. I've got so much going on. Like I said, I have a ton of homework. I also work a job 2 days a week, and I also have this podcast. And I'm a mom. I'm still raising 2 teenagers. This is why I'm talking about prioritizing. There might be something that you don't get to. The main thing you want to do in your guest room and your master bedroom is to get them vacuum ready. Make sure the floor is clear. Make sure your bed is made that morning. But have the floor clear in advance. Vacuum it in advance. Then the morning of the party or the overnight guests arriving, just get out of the bed and make it. Or if it's a guest bed, you can have it made a couple weeks in advance. Okay? Or at least a couple days in advance. Little trick, I've talked about this before, but maybe you haven't heard me mention this. When I displace a kid to let a guest sleep in their bed, sometimes I have them start sleeping in the alternate location the night before. Like, I did this more when I had a bunch of kids. Like, I'm not going to do it this time. Like, my son is going to sleep in his room, and then just that morning I'll wash his bedding or whatever. Okay, because I'm doing all the other stuff weeks in advance. At the time of this recording, my guests are arriving in 1 week, but I've done a lot of the stuff I needed to do. But back when I had a bunch of little kids, I would say like so-and-so is coming to stay here. And you're going to sleep on the couch while she's here. So what you're going to do is start sleeping on the couch tonight. That way I can wash your bedding, make your bed, and it's fresh for the guest. Because, for example, if your teenage son is going to be sleeping on the couch for 4 days, might as well make it 5 if you're not going to have time to wash the bedding on the day that the guests are arriving. Make sense? Like, what if you're picking them up at the airport at like 6 a.m. or whatever? Might be a good idea to take care of all that the night before. So be working in the guest room, the master bathroom, the master bedroom. And I realize, you're not going to get it all done during this episode, but I'm hoping that I've gotten you started. I hope that you're being observant. You're looking around. You're dusting the room. You're wiping down surfaces. The goal is not perfection. The goal is just minimizing visual clutter, okay? Scrubbing any surfaces that have buildup on them so that it doesn't look like you don't clean on a regular basis or whatever, even if maybe you've let that back guest room get dusty. Or maybe your master bedroom is not always your priority because you get tired before you clean that room or whatever. I get it, but you want to raise the standard a little bit. Baseboards in the master bedroom, probably not that important unless you're making your own room your guest room. Okay? But they are going to look at the baseboards in the master bathroom stall when they're sitting on the toilet. Okay? And you don't want them to see buildup or anything. And there's just something nice about cleaning your bathroom floor and the tile is just shining and it smells like your favorite cleaning products or whatever. It's super welcoming. I can't say enough about buying the pre-moistened Swiffer mop pads. And they have like generic versions of them too. I don't know, I don't trust it, but I feel like somebody said the Great Value ones are just as good. And now I can't remember whether I tried them and liked them as well or not. But I kind of just buy the name brand ones, I guess, because they come in different scents. And I love using those to clean my bathroom floors and baseboards by hand. Okay. They're also good for mopping, but like in my small bathroom and also in that toilet stall, I like cleaning the floors by hand. Another thing that I do, and I don't think I've ever talked about this on the show, just, be working on this if it needs to be done. Maybe you're scrubbing the toilet and, you're ready to move on to cleaning the floor around the toilet, after cleaning the base of the toilet. I recently started using a little, I'm trying to think what it's called, dust broom, okay? Where it's, you hold it in your hand, but it's a broom instead of having like a long broomstick, and it comes with a it comes with a dustpan when you buy it. So it's a little dust broom with a dustpan. To me, that is super convenient for just getting down on your hands and knees and thoroughly cleaning your bathroom floor, dusting behind the toilet, because, it's hard to really get in there with a normal broom. But you can use, there's 2 ways to go. You can either use the pre-moistened mop pad or whatever damp rag and kind of wipe the floor where you're grabbing up debris in one fell swoop. But the way I've been doing it lately is I use that little dust broom first to sweep up all the debris. I do this in my small guest bathroom and I do it in the little toilet stall of my master bathroom. Then in the next step, I take those pre-moistened mop pads, scrub the floor, baseboard, even the base of the toilet, whatever. I just scrub with that. And I've already gotten the debris picked up with that little dust broom or hand broom, whatever you want to call that. However, in the larger area of my master bathroom, which I consider it a low priority area as far as deep cleaning it, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you focus on the bathroom stall part of the bathroom and the sinks. Okay. And I realize not everybody has this type of big bathroom, but a lot of you do. That's why I'm covering that. People aren't going to be really looking at the floor that much in that large area. As long as it's picked up and maybe you ran a vacuum over it, that might be good enough for a secondary bathroom. That they didn't even know that you planned ahead to take them back there. Like, they might just be thinking like, okay, they were expecting me to use the guest bathroom and now they're just graciously letting me use their bathroom. Like, you're not really expecting that area to be deep cleaned for guests, if that makes sense. Okay. I focus first on the bathroom stall and the sink that they're going to wash their hands at, which is the first sink they're going to come to when they come out of the bathroom. Okay. But when I do find the time to sweep and mop the bathroom, then that's when I attach the Swiffer pad to the actual Swiffer and I mop that larger expanse of flooring with an actual mop. Okay, this is not sponsored. Any mop will work. But when I'm talking about a Swiffer mop, I'm talking about that feature where you can attach something to it. Like, you wrap that pre-moistened pad around it. And of course, another thing I do is I wrap a microfiber cloth around it and use it to clean my mirrors when I spray them with the glass cleaner, and then I mop the mirror. Same with glass shower doors. Same with the tile shower walls even. There's a lot you can do with a mop other than cleaning the floor. So there's a little tip for working on your bathrooms. Anyway, once you get your bedroom and bathroom and guest room cleaned, be sure to run a vacuum or sweep and mop, whatever needs to be done. I hope you got a lot done during this episode. There are going to be a couple more episodes coming. Like I said, the bonus episode is about deep cleaning your guest bathroom. I'm going to tell you about something kind of embarrassing that I'm not going to be able to fix. If you're one of my guests, I apologize to you in advance for this one glaring issue. And then next week, we're going to have a holiday deep cleaning episode where I have you clean the kitchen. I'm not sure if I'm going to combine that with touching up your guest bathroom and cleaning the floors in your whole house, or if those are going to be two separate episodes. But closer to Thanksgiving, I'm going to be talking about deep cleaning your kitchen, touching up your guest bathroom that was already previously deep cleaned by then, and then cleaning the floors in your whole house. And then just kind of checking your house for finishing touches. I hope you got a lot done during this episode. I appreciate each and every one of you. I apologize if the episode is kind of raw and I hesitated in parts and whatnot, but I'm not going to do much editing. Happy cleaning, and I'll talk to you soon.